Under the flickering streetlight, the last walk of a promising young basketball star. This is a 100% real, verifiable 2025 US crime. 16-year-old basketball standout Davell Holden was fatally shot while walking to a friend's house in South Holland, Illinois, on August 2, 2025. The case is active, has official confirmation, includes a $10,000 reward, and is widely reported by credible outlets. Some nights, a single gunshot splits a quiet block, turning laughter into silence and leaving a neighborhood to wonder if safety was ever more than a fragile illusion. The August air clung heavy to the quiet streets, carrying the weight of humidity and unspoken fears as porch lights flickered on one by one in nervous rhythm. A lone street light hummed softly over the cracked pavement, casting thin shadows that stretched like fingers toward the edges of an unseen darkness. Then came the shot-sharp metallic, final shattering the stillness, echoing off brick walls, and planting dread in the heart of every soul within earshot. Windows rattled gently in their frames, and behind curtains, eyes widened, breaths caught, and 1,000 silent questions began to take root. A sneaker lay abandoned on its side near the gutter, its laces stiff with dirt, telling a wordless story of the sprint that ended too soon. Nearby, a single brass shell casing glinted under the tired light, small yet impossibly heavy with the truth it carried inside its cold, unblinking metal. Sirens rose in the distance, their wails cutting through the air like sharp blades, promising help yet carrying the sound of something irrevocably broken. Blue and red lights washed over brick walls and chain-link fences, painting the block in warning colors, as though the night itself had turned hostile. Yellow tape unrolled in a slow, deliberate flutter, its whisper in the breeze, a soft barrier between the living and the place where life had stopped. Officers stepped carefully, their eyes sweeping every shadow, every doorway, knowing that the truth might be hiding in the quietest corner of the block. Neighbors stood in their doorways, speaking in low voices, as if afraid that the night could overhear their words and twist them into something dangerous. Someone mentioned a figure in a dark hoodie disappearing into the alley, their voice trembling between certainty and the need to forget what they'd seen. The alley smelled of oil and damp cardboard, its narrow path closing in like a throat, swallowing both footsteps and secrets without leaving a trace. A single shoe print, sharp-edged in the frost, pointed toward darkness, each ridge and curve a frozen time stamp of the moment everything went wrong. 2 blocks away, a basketball court stood empty, the chain net swaying gently, caught between the memory of games and the weight of absence. Photographs of Davell lit up phone screens, his smile frozen in pixels, his eyes alive only in the memories of those who knew the sound of his laugh. Parents locked their doors earlier than usual, each click of the deadbolt a small prayer against the randomness that had already proven unstoppable. The medical examiner's van idled beneath the pale moon, its rear doors closed with a muted finality that carried the weight of loss into the early hours. Reporters arrived before sunrise, their cameras slicing through the cool air, seeking a story that the street was too tired to tell in its own voice. A reward flyer clung stubbornly to a lamppost, its edges curling, the promise of $10,000 swaying with every restless gust of morning wind. In the high school gym, flowers lined the bleachers, jerseys were folded on the bench, and the silence between them was as loud as any roaring crowd. Rumors curled through the air like cigarette smoke, each one twisting, changing shape, until no one knew which version of the truth to believe. Some whispered revenge, others mistaken identity, while a few muttered about a robbery that ended in panic and an irreversible decision. Detectives went door to door, their notepads filling with fragments none large enough to complete the picture they were desperate to see. Security cameras caught only shadows, moving blurs that slipped between pools of light, never revealing faces, never telling more than they had to. Days folded into weeks, and the case file thickened, its weight growing heavier with every unanswered question and every lead that faded into dust. Each August 2nd, the court lights burn late, and friends gather with a basketball in hand, playing under the same sky that once watched him leave. The snap of the net echoes into the night, part celebration, part memorial, a stubborn insistence that joy still belongs here, even in his absence. Some say the shooter still walks these streets, blending into the rhythm of daily life, carrying a secret that burns hotter with each passing year. Others believe they vanished long ago, swallowed by the distance, leaving only the shadow of their choice behind on this street's history. The truth hangs in the cracks of the sidewalk, in the silent spaces between footsteps, waiting for a voice brave enough to bring it into the light. It lingers in the whispers traded along the alley walls, in the eyes that shift away when the subject edges too close to something dangerous, A mother stands at her window, her gaze fixed on the block, her thoughts drifting to the echo of his laugh and the way he filled a room without trying. She remembers the phone call, the words that dropped like stones in her chest, and the way the world seemed to tilt into an unrecognizable place. Detectives still revisit the block, their questions worn thin, their persistence the only sign that the search has never truly ended here. The tape is gone, the scene is cleared, but the story lingers in the pavement, the walls, and the air that still carries his absence. A dog barks somewhere in the distance, its voice carrying over the roofs, reminding the street that life moves on even when wounds remain open. A street light flickers, moths circling the glow, their wings whispering against the air as if even they are cautious of the darkness below. Somewhere in an evidence room, a drawer closes softly over a clue, its secrets waiting for the day they might finally be allowed to speak. Somewhere else, in a bedroom or a car, a conscience stirs. Restless under the weight of a memory that refuses to fade or forgive, the block hums with its usual rhythm engines, starting, voices calling, footsteps passing, but beneath it all, the night is still holding its breath. It remembers the abandoned sneaker by the gutter, the shell casing under the light, and the silence that followed, a single, irreversible sound. It remembers what it took from this street, from a family, from a future that was never given the chance to unfold under the sun again. And until the day someone speaks, until the truth is freed from its hiding place, it always will.